I was kinda hoping by this point in the season I'd be finished with more Season of Plunder weapon patterns, but hey, I was also kinda hoping that I wouldn't be trying to record today's video while recovering from COVID, but here we are. Hi, my name is Fallout, and today I'd like to cover how you can grind for Deepsight Season of Plunder weapons maybe a little bit more efficiently. This may or may not include a potential in-game exploit that Bungie has yet to correct. Who's to say? Had I done all of this from the beginning, I'd probably be a little bit further along in my weapon grinding, but my loss is your gain.
But before we get into all that, do you like badass champions, tough bosses, millions of players worldwide, all under the umbrella of an incredible free-to-play game? You do? Well then, Dr. Fallout is prescribing you Raid Shadow Legends. This game has it all: fantasy, action, lore, and you can take it anywhere. Death Knight is one of Raid's most beloved characters, a forever underdog champion who thinks he's finally having his day in the sun when Raid Shadow Legends announces that he's finally getting upgraded. But is he actually getting his biggest promotion ever, or is he being replaced by a much better in every way version of himself? Spoiler alert, it's the latter. He's being usurped by Ultimate Death Knight, a brand new legendary hero. Ultimate Death Knight is definitely someone you want to bring into a battle. He improves the squad's defense by 30% and completely blocks one hit, decreasing the damage by 0 when one of the allies is attacked. This champion has an amazing skill called Rats Off to Ya. This AoE skill is a tribute to Mr. Nibbles, a pet of the OG Death Knight. The whole raid community has been waiting for this for a long time, and Ultimate Death Knight is everything we hoped for. He's poised, he's powerful, he's perfect, and the best part is, everyone can get him for free. Just log in and play Raid for 7 days between now and October 27th, and you get Ultimate Death Knight for free. Use DK Rise's promo code for a bunch of free items to instantly level your new strongest champion all the way to level 50 and 5-star Ascension. But wait, there's more. This month, Raid just released a giant new feature, Awakening, and a brutal new dungeon, the Iron Twins Fortress. If you're good enough to take down the Iron Twins, you'll see a huge payoff, being able to awaken your champions. Awakening your champions lets you choose a powerful blessing that can transform how they perform in battle. There's never been a better time to get started. New players, use my link or scan the QR code right here and get a free starter pack worth almost $30, a free champion Verges, and also this cool in-game loot. You'll find these rewards here in your inbox for the next 30 days only. It really is that easy. Hit up the link in the video description, and thank you, Raid Shadow Legends.
Alright, back to the content. Method number 1, which I strongly recommend, is grinding out Master Catch Crash. Master Catch Crash can be rough if you're underleveled. It's a 1600 power activity, but once you hit the threshold, this activity is 100% worth farming with your crew. It's not wildly complicated and relatively quick to burn through with a good team. The only downside is that Master difficulty is a non-match-made activity, which, by the way, really kind of blows Bungie. I know you don't want players to have a bad experience, but I think if there's some kind of minimum power to entry, why not make Master Catch Crash match-made? Let the loners live a little bit. Anyway, Master Catch Crash can award you a bunch of great drops on completion. Actually, in order to get the best drops from Master Catch Crash, you gotta get a platinum ranking when you finish. In order to do that, you need to kill every champion in Catch Crash, of which there are 10. 2 in the very opening encounter, 4 in the second encounter, 4 in the third encounter, and then 2 more in the final encounter for a grand total of 10. If you don't get all those champs, yeah, you'll still get good rewards, but there's no reason to not get all 10 and get that platinum ranking. Just make sure that while playing, you're communicating with your team about how many champs you've killed per encounter. I should mention that some encounters, like when you have to destroy the security optic, can be a little tricky. The champions only appear during the damage phase, so resist your killer instinct to free the beast immediately and nuke the boss right away. Make sure all 4 champs are dead, and then bam, finish the encounter. Beating Master Catch Crash can not only reward you with Deepsight Plunder weapon drops, but you can actually get a lot of other great stuff, namely Ascendant Alloy. No joke, I ran a bunch of these back to back with the crew, and every time, without fail, no fewer than 2 people on my fire team were rewarded with an Ascendant Alloy. If you're gonna go the Master Catch Crash route, and you definitely should, try to unlock the Hidden Compartment crew upgrade at the helm before grinding. It does require 7 crew upgrades to unlock, kinda hefty, but we're at that point in the season now. Makes it so that the first Catch Crash completed each week will reward a Deepsight weapon guaranteed. And as long as we're talking about pirate crew helm upgrades, let's touch on a few more that can potentially help you in getting Deepsight Plunder weapons quicker. Floating Debris improves your odds at getting Season of Plunder gear at the end of Catch Crash, so definitely grab that if you plan on farming Master Catch. Likewise, Magnetic Drill will improve your odds at getting Season of Plunder gear at the end of Expedition missions. Focused Weapon Spoils in the top row is mandatory. Lets you decrypt Umbral engrams dives into Season of Plunder weapons when they've been added to your collections. More on both Umbral Weapon focusing and expedition missions in just a minute. Weapon Treasure Map unlocks the Plunder Weapon focused map in the Captain's Atlas. That gives you the ability to grab a weapon at the end of an expedition, which could potentially be a deep sight. There's two more that I want to point out, but we'll come back to them shortly. Plunder Windfall and Double Plundered Umbral Energy map. Remember those for later. In the meantime, Umbral Weapon focusing also at the helm. Once you've unlocked each weapon in the loot pool and picked up focused weapon spoils on the star chart, you can focus Umbral weapons for the cost of legendary shards, 1 Umbral engram, and plundered Umbral Energy. The odds won't be hugely in your favor. The way it was in past seasons was about a 1 in 4, maybe 1 in 5 shot that decrypting these will give you a deep sight version. If you really only care about maybe 1 or 2 of the plundered weapons, I'd recommend just decrypting it directly, even though it's more expensive. If you plan on eventually getting crafted versions of all Season 18 weapons, go for the Weapons of Plunder engram on the left. It can give you any of the 6 weapons, and it does cost about half as much. So, in order to do a lot of focused Umbral weapon pulling, you're going to need a fair amount of plundered Umbral Energy. Eventually, you'll unlock Plunder Windfall, one of the 2 crew upgrades I mentioned from earlier. That'll give you plundered energy by doing other things in the game. The other upgrade, which I'm itching to unlock, is Double Plundered Umbral Energy. Here's why. There's currently an expedition cheese that I really thought Bungie would have fixed by now, but they still haven't. Here's how it works. Go into an expedition with a group of friends. Make sure that your Captain's Atlas has a map inserted ahead of time. At the end of the expedition, do not open the main center chest. Doing so will end the expedition, and we don't want to do that yet. Instead, go around to where you and your teammates can dig for treasure in the back. Rather than each of you taking a mound, each of you go to the same mound. Gather around it and do a countdown of 3, 2, 1, and then all of you dig at the same time. You should all be able to group dig the same mound, earning plundered Umbral Energy. When you've done that, blow yourself away with a rocket or grenade launcher, or maybe Sparrow out of bounds and die real quick. When you're dead, open your Captain's Atlas and put in a new map. Then respawn and do the same thing again. Go back to a treasure mound, do a 3, 2, 1 countdown. All of you dig up the same treasure mound for more plundered Umbral Energy. Rinse and repeat with all 3 mounds. Between you and your team group digging each pile of dirt, you should be able to get away with 9 Umbral Energy per completion of expedition. Now back to the star chart. Throw double plundered Umbral Energy map on top of that. You'll be really farming plundered energy with that expedition exploit. Oh, and should go without saying, but by farming a lot of Catch Crash and Expedition, you'll rack up these Spoils of Plunder engrams at the star chart. Don't forget to turn those in whenever you can. They can drop deep sights too. Final thing I wanted to cover, a rumor I had heard about completing the Cryptic Riddle quest, which would give you apparently multiple guaranteed deep sight weapons in addition to the exotic sparrow. I'd been putting that quest off because I really don't care that much about getting an exotic sparrow. But the rumor about getting multiple guaranteed deep sight weapons was enough to make me finish the quest, and I got weapons, but they weren't deep sight. Now, I don't doubt that some people out there did get deep sight weapons to drop from doing this, but I sure as hell did not. If I were you, I would stick to Master Catch Crash farming and Expedition Umbral farming until Bungie fixes that exploit. Head on down to the comment section and let me know if there's any other tips you might have for getting deep sight plunder weapons. While you're down there, don't forget to click like on today's video. Great way to help both me and my channel literally for free. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on stream.